This March, I'm going to be doing previews of TTRPGs that you can find in RPGs for Accessible Gaming, the charity bundle on itchio that is supporting .rpg project and funding more Braille dice like these. You can get your hands on over 240 RPGs, including so many tabletop role-playing games, for a donation as low as $10. Altogether, you would normally spend $700 on this bundle to get all of those games. That is quite literally a steal. Check out the link on the screen right now or in the description to buy the bundle. And with that being said, I am so excited to do today's TTRPG Flip Through. Friends, my name is Jess and TTRPGs have been bringing me joy for the last 5 years or so. And I am so excited to do a flip through of Jimmy Shelter's Pine Shallows, a game based in a small town with big adventures. Pine Shallows is a tabletop role-playing game inspired by the Goonies, Stranger Things, Gravity Falls, and other medias where you portray small town kids going on adventures and solving mysteries. I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that Gravity Falls was included in the inspirations, I was hooked. I love Dipper and Mabel and all of the wacky adventures that they get up to with Grunkle Stan. So let's go ahead and get started with the cover of this Meddlesome Kids game. I love that we're getting the layout of the town and that it's set at night, because when I think of solving mysteries, I am certainly not thinking about solving them during the daytime. So I think that this gives the perfect intro to the game. When we flip to the introduction of Pine Shallows, we see that we need a pen, some paper, and at least 3d6. I personally love a game that doesn't require a lot to get started, and I also love a book that includes a starting adventure and printable character sheets, both of which are included in Pine Shallows. The next page talks about setting the tone of the adventure, which I think is incredibly important, just so all of the players and the GM are all on the same page. And then the page after that gives guidelines for character creation. I love how simple it is in Pine Shallows, splitting up 3 points to attributes of brawn, heart, and brain. Personally, to make things more interesting, I'll probably end up putting all of my points into just one attribute and letting the rest be zeros. You'll also have a starting morale of 4 unless your background states otherwise. And we'll get to that on the next page. Anyway, your morale is what measures your resolve and your motivation and can drop to 0 in certain situations. And if it does, you actually won't be able to take actions until your morale goes up. But just because it can drop, it also means that it can go up, and your maximum can actually increase as well throughout the game. There are 10 different backgrounds to choose from: Mysterious Orphan, Home Alone, Outsider, Whiz Kid, New Kid in Town, Athlete, Bookworm, Club Kid, Escaped from the Facility, and the Babysitter, or the Eldest Kid. I personally would love to play one of the last two, so let's focus on those. If you escaped from a facility, you are probably a kid who just suddenly turned up out of nowhere and is always hiding from nosy adults. You can pick a power like telekinesis, mind reading, or the like, as long as it's relevant to your strongest stat. You'll also have heightened senses, so your max stat for one of your starting stats is 4, but then you'll also need to make one of your stats a -1. Whereas with the babysitter, you're the oldest kid in the group either by choice or because you're stuck watching the younger kids, but regardless, it does come with perks that aren't just some babysitting money. Because you're an older kid, you've seen it all, so you start with a +2 to your morale, and you can also spend a plot point to give a motivating speech to your group and give everyone who witnessed that speech a +1 to their actions until an action fails, or each character morale increases by 1 up to their maximum. The next page is spent fleshing out your character and then your group. Maybe you've got a little rocket power squad with skateboards, scooters, and roller skates. Regardless, you're all going to need some wheels to get around the town. And then you're going to want to establish how your group knows each other, whether they're in the same grade, babysat by the same person, or maybe they're all mathletes that meet together in math club after school. Playing the game itself seems relatively easy. You'll roll 2d6 and add a relevant stat, adding in points for items and anyone who helps you successfully roll with the task at hand. A 6 or less is considered a failure, and you'll lose a point of morale along with anyone who helped you with that roll. But anytime you fail, you get to mark an experience track on your character sheet. After 6 boxes are filled, you do get some nice character improvements. Rolling a 7 to 9 is a success with a complication. This is a yes but situation. And then a 10 plus is a success with no complications, and you'll even regain a morale. When you roll with advantage or disadvantage, you'll roll 3d6. For advantage, you keep the highest 2, and for disadvantage, you keep the lowest 2 for your score. There's even a city guide which has all sorts of places like the town square that shows you the library, Humphrey and Son, an old school general store, the Vandermeer bookstore, Nickel and Dime arcade, Golden Star bowling alley, and so many other fun locations with memorable NPCs to interact with. Plus, there's so many places outside of the city that look out to the sea and hills, like Skull Cave, the Facility, and Wearmouth on the Sea. Overall, this is such a fun game inspired by so many amazing medias like Gravity Falls, Scooby-Doo, a series of unfortunate events, and more. I personally love getting to play as a kid, especially when I'm solving a mystery. I don't know what it is about like kids and mysteries, but I feel like it's a match made in heaven. Anyway, if this sounds like your jam, make sure to check out the itchio page for Pine Shallows and check out what others are saying about the game, and even subscribe to the newsletter from the creator. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in a comment what background you're going to play first. Like I said earlier, I want to play the Escaped from the Facility kid. I just love playing a little weirdo. And don't forget that you can join my channel as a member for early access to videos, or check out my Patreon with perks like member shoutouts and more.